Hey guys, Mr. Bouchon with some CAASPP testing instructions and kind of what to expect and what's going to be happening on the next couple of Wednesdays for you guys. So I'm going to go through this screencast with you, just a quick Google slideshow. And so this is for CAASPP testing. This is for 11th graders. You're going to be testing the next two Wednesdays from 9 to 12:30. On May 5th, you're going to be taking the English portion, which it's two sections. There's a CAT, which is a computer adaptive test, which means if you get one right, it gets a little bit harder. If you get one wrong, it gets a little easier. And then there's the second part is a performance task, which is a 2-question free response. So they'll give you some info, and then you just write some short free responses. The CAT is taking students 45 to 60 minutes this year, and the performance task is taking 30 to 45 minutes this year, which is great. Those are shorter than normal. So what you'll do is you're going to check in with on May 5th. You're going to check into the Zoom link that we give you, and Mr. Pfaff is going to be running testing on those days. And you're going to check in at 9. He'll give you some instructions, and then he'll say, "Hey, you're going to log out of this Zoom call and you're going to log in to the testing secure browser. Once you get logged in, here's your SSID number and here's your test session number. And once you log in with those two things, then you can start taking the test. If you cannot log in, come back to this Zoom call and I'll help you." Okay? When you're finished with part 1 of the test, you are done until 10:25, in which case, at 10:25, you're going to come back to this Zoom call and meet with me again for part 2. Okay, then he's going to give you instructions again, and you're going to start the performance task. And if you're finished early, you're finished for the day, and we'll see you next Wednesday for the math portion. If you're not finished, when the end of the time comes at 12:30, Mr. Pfaff will just end the test for you, and then it will keep you you'll leave off at that point, and then I, Mr. Bouchon, will contact you to finish at a later time, and that goes for the CAT too. If you don't finish it and he ends the test for you, that's okay. It'll save your work, and I will catch up with you and get you a time to finish up that test, okay? All right, on May 12th, Mrs. Provencio will be testing you in math. Again, it's the CAT portion followed by part 2, which is the performance task. And again, you'll check in at 9 using a different Zoom link, and then she will give you instructions from there. So your SSID number, you should all have them, but you can find it in your Aries student portal, and it's with your other ID numbers, and it's just called your state student ID, and you can, I believe, find it under student information in there. So on your own, if you could go find this secure browser, and I will show you how to find that in a second if you don't have it already on your laptop, but I'd love you to go in there, double click that, and then take a practice test on your own. And your case carrier may be having you run a training test in which they give you a test session ID. I'll let them contact you on that one. But if you go in there and you go into the secure browser, and then you go in and you sign in as a guest user, then you can start taking a test, maybe take 1 or 2 questions, and then it just gives you a feel for what it is like to take a test through that testing browser. On the day of the test, you're going to check into the tutorial link that we give you. Again, Mr. Pfaff will have a link on the 5th, and Ms. Provencio will have a link on the 12th. So different Zoom links. You'll check in, they'll give you instructions. Please do not have any phones or other electronics out. Make sure that you have your SSID number written down on a piece of paper somewhere, not on your phone, because you're not allowed to have your phone out during the test. You're going to have your camera on all the time, because your teacher is going to monitor you from within the testing system, and they'll be able to see you just like they would in a Zoom call. So you're going to have your phone, your camera on at all times, and you're not allowed to have other people in the testing room with you where they can actually see the test. So please make sure that nobody else can see the test And it's ideal. You really don't want to have another person in the room with you, but if you can't help that in your situation at home, just make sure they can't see the test questions. And then you would enter your SSID number, and then the teacher will give you a session ID number for that portion of the test, and you'll use that to log in. Okay, so then you would have your first name, and then you'd have your SSID number, which I have, hopefully you have it written down, and then the teacher will give you a session ID for that specific test section, and then you'd hit sign in, and it would take you through this. Is this you? And then it'll have you test your camera and test your recording device that's on your computer. It'll have you check that your sound is working and things like that, and it'll say, is this you? And you'll say yes. And then it'll show you this is the test that's available for you to take, and you click on that, and then your teacher will then get a message that you're waiting for approval, and once your teacher approves you, then you can go ahead and do those sound checks and all that, and then begin the test. Okay. All right, I'm going to show you how to check to see if you have a secure browser, and if you don't have it, how to get it. So here's what the secure browser looks like. You should have one of those if it's on your Tustin Unified laptop. If you don't, you go down into the Windows icon down here at the very bottom left-hand corner. It's that Windows symbol. Hopefully you can see it. And you click on that, and up will come this Windows box. And where you want to go now is the company portal. And you're going to click in there. And inside the company portal, you will have a menu of items that you can download, and one of them is the secure browser. Okay, so up here in the featured apps, and there it is right there. You would click that, and you would just have it download or install it. Mine's already installed, that's why it's saying reinstall. Okay, and that is it. You will get more instructions from your case carrier. Have a great day.